down to another outdoor area. And this area down here is not adults only, but they say 14 and up. So I guess that makes this area PG-13. I'm not sure why they would decide to have an area that's 14 and up, but this is it. I am once again in the Mediterranean, I'm once again on a cruise, and I am once again on a ship from Costa that asked the question, can there be too many colors? I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. I travel all around the world to popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there. I'm also the author of the book, Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship, filled with crazy travel stories of real things that have happened to me around the world. It's available on Amazon now. And like I said, today we're gonna look around this crazy, large, colorful, and pretty crowded ship. Costa is the Italian brand of Carnival. They specialize in cruises in Europe, and they have many ships here in the Mediterranean, and they offer a pretty affordable cruise rate compared to many other cruise lines that cruise in this area. The Smeralda is a really big ship. There is a lot. Did you hear that? The door just clicked. It was a bathroom door. As I was saying, the Smeralda is a really big ship. From the size, it has the feeling of being as big as like an NCL Getaway or a Royal Caribbean Independence of the Seas. However, the layout makes it seem even bigger. It seems like there are so many more things, and getting around is kind of confusing. Let's go up to the top deck, because I think if you're going to be cruising in the Med, what is available on the top deck out in the sun that's going to be one of the things you're most interested in. And after that, we'll look a little bit at the restaurants and bars and the theater situations inside the ship. And then in the end, I'll give you a couple just sort of thoughts and impressions before I leave you. Okay, here we are on the top deck of the ship, all the way at the front, and this area is reserved for adults only. There are 2 entrances to it with signs in all the different languages that say adults only, and there is a sunny and shady area at the very front, and then shortly behind that, moving towards the back of the ship, is a pool area. Like I said, as you watch this video, you're gonna notice the ship is really crowded. I'm assuming we're cruising at close to capacity. It is summer vacation over here in Europe. Lots of families with kids. But yeah, this is the adults only area with its pool and hot tub. And right around the corner on the one side is a bar. So that's nice that there's a place to get a drink. And I've mentioned this in other videos. From all the cruise lines that I've been on, Costa offers the most affordable and biggest variety of all-included drink packages. Moving a little bit further towards the back of the ship, we come to the sports court. And this is a typical cruise ship sports area. They offer different kinds of activities here: basketball, soccer, and actually they even offered tennis yesterday. I have played a lot of pickleball on Royal Caribbean, but I've never played actual tennis. And I call this actual tennis, but it's not really a tennis court. The rackets that they had were horrible, even like with broken strings, and we were playing with one of these training tennis balls that has less air in it, and because it was so hot, we broke 3 balls. But it was fun to actually play tennis here in this little multi-sports area. And just sort of underneath this sports area is the indoor pool area, which I think is kind of nice. As you can see here, it seems like a beach club. There are several levels, so you can see down to the pool. There's a pool area and a little splash area as well if you just want to get your feet wet or take some little kids into the water. Up at the top here is also the dedicated Nutella bar. Creamy chocolate goodness, which is not included in the price of the cruise. And this indoor pool area is also used for some parties at night, and it has a dome over it that gets lighted up at night, and it looks really cool. And going up and around and over over this area is one of these huge sort of viewing walkways that they have on the ship. There's another one way on the back that's a little freakier. I'll show you that in a little bit. This is a good place to just get a view out over the ocean and a great place to get a view of the water slides, which is the next area that we are going to be coming to. The Smeralda has 5 water slides all right here in this central ship area. The slides are included in the price of the cruise. You don't have to pay extra for them, and it's a pretty good selection. And you know what? Since we're here at the water slides, do you want to go? Come on, let's go slide. Before we continue in this video, let me just invite you to subscribe to the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. It really helps me out. It costs you nothing, and then you'll get an update about when the next video from this series comes. If you could press thumbs up, that really helps too. All right, moving back a little bit further, we have a bar and then another sort of shady, sunny area with a small stage. I have seen a DJ set up here, and on the left and right of this area are 2 other pools, and these are, I guess in a way, the family pools, and I can only say it again, these pools get really crowded. I'm not sure of the advantage of having several different pool areas around the ship in comparison to other ships of this size where it's sort of like one central pool area and maybe there's 2 pools in it, or like on the Oasis class of Royal Caribbean, there are also several pools, but they're kind of all in the same area of the ship, you know what I mean? And on this ship, there's one at the very front, there's one a little bit further back, and then there's 2 way back. I'm not sure if I like it better that way or the other way. What do you think? What are sort of the advantages and disadvantages of that? Anyways, let's go on with this tour here and look further towards the back of the ship. Like I said, this is where another one of these huge walkways is, back elevated out over the aft of the ship. And the thing that makes this freaky is it has a glass floor, and I'm a thrill seeker. I like that kind of adrenaline, but it is so weird to walk over these things because you get this weird feeling in your stomach walking over it, seeing the rest of the ship and the ocean so far below. And this walkway area goes around sort of a stage outdoor area at the back of the ship where they also have parties at night. By the way, some of the parties at night here on this ship start at 1 o'clock in the morning. There's literally activities on the daily planner that start at 1 a.m. Italian people like to stay up late. And this area at the back reminds me of the back of the NCL Getaway, Epic, that class of ships. There's a multi-leveled area and then a flat sort of dance floor or stage area. There's also a movie screen here, and an interesting thing about this class of ship is also the way the aft of the ship is structured, with these balconies that go down to another outdoor area. And this area down here is not adults only, but they say 14 and up. So I guess that makes this area PG-13. I'm not sure why they would decide to have an area that's 14 and up, but this is it. And at night, this looks really cool, especially if you're walking over that pathway over the top, because the way it's lit up, I don't know, there's just something really cool about it. All right, I promised you that I was going to show you around the inside of the ship, and we're going to do that right after this commercial break. Did you get one? What was it about? Write it in the comments below, please. When I make these ship tours, I do it because I want to help you sort of see what the ship offers, because maybe that will help you decide if you want to cruise with the ship or not. And another reason I make these tours is because I like to help you, if you are going to be on the ship, kind of know where things are, kind of help you get your bearings before you arrive. That is not going to be possible with this ship because the way it's set up and the way the spaces are, honestly, it's just too confusing. I'm gonna show you around some of the restaurants and the bars and the inside spaces here, but I have no idea how to explain to you how to get from one to the other because I can't find a rhyme or reason to it. I think one of the most optimal cruise ship designs are the bigger ships from Royal Caribbean that have the Royal Promenade. Having this central space in the middle of the ship that's open, that has a lot of different venues that are popular, and then being able to orient yourself to get to the other venues on the ship, knowing, okay, I need to walk to the end of the Royal Promenade and go up, or I need to walk to the other end of the Royal Promenade and go down. That is really helpful for navigation. This ship doesn't have anything like that. The venues on the inside are on 6, 7, and 8, and not only are there a lot of different venues, but there are just so many colors and design styles. It is sensory overload as far as colors go, and because some of the bars and restaurants even have like different design styles in the same room, it seems like even more spaces just because there's nothing as far as like colors go or designs go, there's nothing to get accustomed to. Does that make sense? Like if I compare it with Royal Caribbean again, every Royal Caribbean ship has a schooner bar and all the schooner bars are kind of decorated the same. And you know when you're inside the schooner bar because from one side to the other, the decoration is the same. The design of many other cruise ships is a little bit more homogeneous, and it seems like the interior design style and selections on this ship, and probably every ship from Costa, is not about things working together. It seems more about them clashing with each other. And I have walked through this ship from one end of each deck to the other, and honestly, I'm still confused about where things are. But there are two areas that are kind of good landmarks, and those are both of the theater spaces. And this is something that we really have to talk about here. I don't mind trying new things, and I don't mind cruise lines or theme parks or any other destinations also trying new things. But just making something different to say it's different and new doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be better, and I think that is the case with the theater spaces on this ship. The main theater space is kind of like the atrium of the ship. It is a large, multi-leveled space in the middle that is round, and this is where many of the, I guess, main stage shows happen. It's just an open space in the middle of the ship, and so even during the daytime when the performers are rehearsing, it can't be closed off and people are walking in and out in the middle of rehearsal, which I think just really breaks the magic. And as an old showbiz person myself, I am not a fan of this. The thing that also makes it really bad as a guest is, I want to say probably 60% of the seats in this venue are either an obstructed view or have basically no view of the stage at all. Why would they build a theater where the majority of the seats can't see the stage? Yes, it's different and odd. And if you do have a good seat, it's kind of spectacular, but I see people reserving seats 45 minutes before the performances begin just to get one of the good seats where you can actually see everything that's happening. In order to compensate this, they have a lot of television screens all around, but it's like, why do you go to a live performance if you're just going to be watching it on a screen? I'm just not a fan of this, can you tell? Speaking of not being able to see very well, the other performance space, which is way at the front of the ship, is also designed really strangely, with many of the seats not being able to see either the entire stage or any of the stage at all. And there's also a big stairway in the middle of it that probably looks fantastic to the people on stage, but what happens is a lot of people come in and end up standing on the stairs, and that blocks off the view of even more seats. You know, this is kind of like the bathroom design trend of having see-through doors and see-through showers, which we will be talking about in the cabin tour coming soon. A lot of hotel designers think
nobody needs privacy anymore in bathrooms.
And it seems like Carnival, Costa cruise ship designers think
nobody goes to the theater to actually see the performers.
I don't know why they did this. Doesn't make sense to me. I'm not a fan. I did get to sit in a few different main dining rooms for dinner at night, and they, like I said, are all decorated very differently, all very, in a way, elegantly, but also way over the top compared to so many other design styles. Some of them seemed bright and airy, and some of them seemed a little darker and cozier. For some people, I'm sure it's too much. The ship does also have a small gym and a spa area. I didn't get to film inside there, as well as the kids clubs areas where I also didn't get to film inside. There is a casino, which is, I want to say, not tiny, but probably smaller than average. So if you're really a casino fan, just know there's a little bit less offered here on this ship. I'm going to show you a few more things from inside the ship here as I wrap this up. If you are planning a Mediterranean cruise coming up, let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about the ports you're going to visit, maybe where you're embarking or disembarking. I also made a video about how easy it is to get to the ship in Barcelona. That went online a couple weeks ago here, so make sure you check for that in my library if you're going to be beginning your cruise in Barcelona. And I hope that I will see you back here soon on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides for the rest of this series about the Costa Smeralda in the Mediterranean, or whatever other adventure is coming up soon. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. Bye-bye.
Plans were always made for you. I'll fly